Well, it's been a fun year of leaks, everyone, but today's video is going to be the last one before the Apple event on Tuesday, and right at the last minute, this is typically when leaks end up being fairly accurate, because there's not much incentive to fake anything right before you end up being proven wrong. So if there are people dropping stuff right now, it's because they're pretty confident about it, and Quo is going off on a rampage right now telling us what to expect, and there's some new stuff that I was not anticipating, and of course, if he's wrong, this video is going to age like a very fine milk, which is fine because we won't know about it until after. Let's begin. So first of all, storage options, which is I know all really we care about here. At least Big Truck Series Review Motorsports only cares about that. But luckily, Quo is saying that Apple is dropping the 64 gig option this year in the iPhone 13 lineup. So we finally found something that the regular iPhone 13 and 13 mini can be happy about. I don't think the average consumer was going to care very much about the diagonal cameras or the A15 chip or the slightly smaller notch. None of that really matters. What does matter, the base option will be 128 gig. You'll be able to opt for 256, and now for the first time 512 gigs on the entry-level iPhone. So yeah, a phone like almost as small as the iPhone 5, you'll be able to get half a terabyte in that little form factor, which is pretty awesome. And of course, Quo is once again suggesting that the Pro iPhones will have a 1 terabyte storage option. Hallelujah, thank goodness. Those 4 people are going to be so incredibly happy to have that. And the bizarre part that I was not anticipating, and the only thing that I have a hard time believing about Quo's report, is he's saying that the Pro iPhones will actually have 4 separate storage options. So they're still going to start at 128 gig, and you'll be able to choose 256, 512, or 1 terabyte. That's a little option heavy for you, Apple. It's usually not like you to provide so many different tiers for people to choose from, but I'm fine with it. At the end of the day, you know, if Apple wants to price gouge us, it would probably be smart to drop the 256 gig option, because there might be some people out there that are like 128 gig is just too much. So if you up them to 512, you get them spending a lot more money than they really want. But why am I giving Tim these ideas? I don't work for Apple, at least publicly anyway. The other good news is that the Apple Watch Series 7 production problems have apparently been solved. He's saying that the delay should not be major, and the Series 7 is of course still on schedule to launch alongside the iPhone 13, and it will ship later this month. So either someone was totally wrong before with the Series 7 production issues, or they made it sound like it was a much bigger problem than it ended up being. So Apple Watch Series 7 might not be as delayed as we thought. And probably the most interesting bit of news about this is Quo is repeating himself here, suggesting AirPods 3 are going to be unveiled at the California Dreaming event, which is definitely a weird choice in my opinion, because ever since Apple first launched AirPods on stage in 2016, they have literally never launched new AirPods since then on an event. AirPods Max, site refresh. AirPods Pro, site refresh. Even AirPods 2, way back in March of 2019, they were all site refreshes. And now he's saying at this keynote, yes, they do want to unveil it on stage, not via a site refresh. But that's not even the weirdest part of this report. He's saying that unfortunately AirPods 3 price is not going to be much cheaper than AirPods 2. Either it's going to be the same price and Apple ends up permanently discounting AirPods 2, or they end up costing more than AirPods 2 and those just stick around on the website as well. The main takeaway here is that Quo is not seeing any slowdowns in production for the standard old-fashioned AirPods, which means we're getting new AirPods soon, and they're not going to be Pros. You know, they're not going to have the rubber tips, they're not going to have active noise cancellation, but they're not going to replace the second-gen AirPods that Apple's been selling for quite some time now. This kind of confuses me personally, because I'm trying to figure out what kind of features or what kind of upgrades you get with AirPods 3 versus AirPods 2. Will there be substantially better battery life? Will they have better sound quality? Or is Apple literally just going to say, well, you can spend a little bit extra and get regular AirPods with the Force stem, and if you don't like the Force stem, then you can save yourself some money, get some cheaper AirPods that look like all the old AirPods we've been selling for years. I think this is going to distort the AirPods lineup quite a bit, in my opinion. Like, I like the simplicity of just like AirPods Pro come with ANC, regular AirPods do not. There's like $50 difference between between those two. So I'm a bit confused how AirPods 3 is supposed to be more pricey than 2 and yet not quite as expensive as AirPods Pro. Like, it feels crazy to me that they would sell non-active noise cancellation AirPods for like $220 or $230. They've got to be like maximum $200, right? So if regular AirPods see a discount, are they going to be at $150 or $160 still? Maybe they'll restrict the wireless charging case to just AirPods 3, and then if you don't care about the wireless charging case, you can just get the old AirPods 2. I feel like it's going to be this awkward middle step in between pros and regulars, and honestly, best case scenario is just that we see a massive price cut to AirPods 2, and now they start at like $99 instead of $150. I don't want to get my hopes up, but that's the only way it would make sense to me, and I still have a hard time figuring out why would you want to get AirPods 3 if there were cheaper AirPods available and they just look kind of dated. I don't think people are going to care that much about the design of the stem, but that's what we have to go off of right now. And I know that throughout the past year, I've been ranting a lot about how the iPhone 13 won't be that much different, and frankly, aside from the pros, I still kind of stand by that. I think this is going to be still an S year, even though Apple's probably calling it 13, and it's going to be difficult for average consumers to see much point in upgrading, given 13 and 13 mini are just going to feel and look so dang similar. There's not a ton of changes aside from just better battery life and slightly improved cameras, and I'm excited for Tuesday because of a bunch of tech spec features like 120 Hz ProRes video codec, the portrait mode video feature, a matte black color option. That's something average consumers might care about, but even though these features don't make a massive difference to the masses, they make a massive difference to me, so that's why I'm pumped, and of course to see all the different color options Apple comes up with every year. Hopefully they fix red this time and we can get a more traditional blue to come back or something like that, but here's looking forward to another depressing and long year of iPhone leaks that ultimately end up being incredibly incorrect. Cheers. This is your Alp Sheep here. I'll see you guys on Tuesday.